Okay, we're back at it. As you can see, we weren't far off where we were before. I just clicked, I stopped the recording, I started the recording again, and here we go, right? Nice and easy, dead easy stuff, right? We're still nowhere near 1% or 0.01%, hundredth of a percent. We're a long way away from home, but we're an even further long way away from this bit. Now, interestingly, right, this is quite a fascinating representation, because if we were to look at our solar system and say this is where our planet was and the sun was sort of here or something, right? This would be like the Oort cloud here. But I don't know if you remember me talking about the Voyager, right? So the Voyager probe, which was around here, like it's now somewhere in here, is going through a plasmatic medium, so it's experiencing intense heat that it wasn't expecting to find. I'm going to press that button again. Yeah, so it's experiencing intense heat, which is like the ionized plasma particles building up on the outside of the Oort cloud as our magnetic shell of our sun collects it as it passes through the galaxy. It's fascinating, and that's in my head. They call it a plasma foam, right? This area if this was where our sun was, and this is where Earth was, and and Voyager was not there but around here somewhere. It's an interesting little bit of information, and it was something we weren't expecting to find when we got to the edge of our solar system, and yet that's what we found, all thanks to Brian May's information as well. And I probably mentioned this before, but Brian May's PhD, right, was in dust in the gaps between solar systems and places, right? Not only between planets, but solar systems as well. There's massive amounts of dust, space dust. Doesn't get cleaned up by a Hoover, unfortunately. And yeah, fascinating stuff. And his PhD is the reason why things like the James Webb Space Telescope and the Hubble Space Telescope, Galileo probe and Cassini, and all of those things that are in the outer solar system, not going into planets, are able to see so much that they can. It's amazing stuff. There was another one, was it EAST? I can't remember the name of it. Something like that. It was the European Space Agency's sort of stellar European Agency's stellar telescope or something like that. Something like that, I don't remember. And that was in between James Webb and Hubble. A fantastic bit of kit. Really, really amazing tech. Look into it. We're doing a thing with radio wave discovery as well. So we're making network radio wave telescopes. So giant, like square kilometer size radio telescopes that are then networked across the planet, so that we can keep something on observation 24 hours a day by having multiple different radio telescopes looking at them from different countries, but they're all networked so that we can build up extra information as a result. Really good stuff. I'm looking forward to the results of that. And we're aiming them at some really interesting planets. I can't tell you the names of those planets at the moment. It's not in my head at the moment. There's a guy on YouTube who used to work as a sound engineer for the BBC somewhere. He's like a professor in sound engineering or something. I don't know exactly. He's a bit, I'm into aliens in a skeptical way. So he's quite good in that respect, because most of the time he's like, as far as I can tell, definitely not aliens. And then the closest I've heard him get is, sounds like it could be aliens, but we still don't know, right? And I appreciate that, because anybody who says, oh, it's definitely this thing, they have to really good evidence, and I've yet to see really good evidence. Right, David Grush and David Fravor, both respected military men, but I know the military. They're fond of telling lies, especially to the public who don't need to know, because they're the public, and they're only going to get in the way and make sort of nonsense statements and stuff. So, this guy was pointing out that they're pointing at what was this, Simon something or another. I can't remember. Professor Simon Goddard, I think. I'll check it out while I'm telling you about this planet. So we found a signal where the light emissions seem to be suggesting potential alien life because of the way that the light is behaving, which is a slightly more honest way of looking at it rather than chemical absorption rate. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still skeptical. So it's his Prof Simon is the name of his thing, and it's Simon at Simon Holland Films. But yeah, he's got a couple of things based on it, and it's quite interesting because he talks about it in terms of, I can't say that it is, right, which I appreciate. Immediately, anybody who says, honestly, I'd love to be able to say yes, but I can't, right, that's a good sign, as far as I'm concerned. Because you're immediately saying, well, there is a good possibility that I could be wrong, right? 4 times bonus to a speed. 4 times bonus. It's amazing. 1 every 900 seconds. That's good. It's 1 every 15 minutes. That means in this episode we might get 4. I mean, it becomes diminishing returns at a point. Because you need 3 per 1, right? 3 per 1 of those. And then once you've got 1, so 5 means every 12 minutes, and then 6 is every 10, and so on and so on, right? So 10 is every 6 minutes, right? So, the numbers get, the more you get, the smaller the benefit is, I suppose. I mean, actually, technically, because it's a multiplier, so what we really want is 3,601, because then we get more than 1 a second, and then our speed will be so fast, it will be silly. But this is coming down, right? This is good, it's coming down. We've still got loads to go on that. I'm not pressing the button until we're at least, I guess, 40 billion by comparison to the 26, so that we're close at least, because otherwise we're just going to suffer in terms of our overall speed. That's nearly 1,000 light years a second though. That's fast. We are moving some now. And it keeps going up, right? Which is, it can only be a good thing. And that's not going up by another tick. But I'm going to do this for a little bit because look how quickly we can accelerate as a result. I'm not going to do that for a moment. I'm going to roll a cigarette and then we're going to come back to it. And while I'm rolling a cigarette, I'm going to carry on talking about this planet. So this planet creates a form of... Now, what was the expression he used? Was it a coherent light signal? Was it I don't know, it wasn't polarized. It might have been polarized light. Anyway, it's something that, again, we've only observed coming from a technological society, which would be ourselves. It was coherent. It was a coherent signal. So they're always SETI are always on the lookout for odd signals from space, right? And there's a couple of planets in different solar systems. There's 3 of them, I think, that they discovered back in the 80s during the original SETI program as a... do you remember when you could get it as a screensaver and you could help study signals from space? Well, they think they found a coherent signal coming from a particular place, 3 different planets in 3 different solar systems. And now they're using this large networked array of radio telescopes to have a closer look at these 3 particular solar systems, because they're creating coherent signals that they shouldn't be able to create a coherent signal. You should just be getting essentially static and noise. And these ones seem to be not giving out static and noise, much like our planet doesn't give out static and noise. What our planet does is give out whatever it's called. All of our TV signals and whatnot are being broadcast into space, right? Because that's how we do things. I don't know over what distances, but I mean, apparently our science is saying that we can do this over that distance to those solar systems, so one would assume that they can do likewise to our solar systems, which is pretty mental, I'll be honest. It's a long way. Oh, we're about to get some more energy. No, we're not. We're nowhere near about to get more energy. What am I talking about? What you talk about, fool? Hang on. That says 300,000. Oh, it's 120,000 hydrogen. We don't have enough hydrogen. Disappointment. We will have enough hydrogen. Damn you. Enough hydrogen. We now need more hydrogen again. But that's kind of moot. We're not using that tab. Interesting. Should I be using that tab? I don't know. I don't know what the strategy is with this. Because you'd think it would be using that tab, right? Right, hang on. What am I missing? Oh, that's what I'm missing. Not that number, it's this number. So we need another 1,000 rad resistance. Brr. Not to confuse with Nibber, which is completely made up nonsense, as far as I can tell. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not an expert. I've told you multiple times, do not trust me to be an expert in things. However, I would point out that I'm also not a fool of a toque, or a Meriadoc for that matter. And as a result, I would suggest that, yeah, from what I can tell, Nibiru is not a thing. Right, so, how are we doing for energy gathering? Well, we're making a difference, but I'm going to click here and slow down our production so I can do this. And then we can get some extra speed on the go. I don't know if this is going to be worth it overall, but it looks like it's worth it. Look at how quickly it's going up, right? And we're nearly going up by several light years a second. Although this is looking like we're getting less out of it. Now I'm looking at it, right? Look, it's going up by 0.01 light years per second per click, right? No, sorry. Every 3 clicks, it's... Right, holding it down is quicker. There is an internal cooldown that this holding it down does it, right? So, whereas, do that, I mean, it does go up slower. It's going up a lot slower, right, I'll grant you. And so's all our resources. So, actually, is that better? I don't know. Because, I mean, we went up quite fast in comparison. But also, did we benefit from it? I don't know. I don't know that that was actually a benefit to it. It doesn't feel like it was, is what I'm saying. And we can't click on this button still. We're too far away from getting 15,000 titanium to make this worthwhile. Although we're up to 11. We're up to 11 prestigium. Amazing. I'm liking this. And remember, everybody, 600 seconds is 10 minutes. Right? So we're not far off 10 minutes, one every 10 minutes. So it's probably easier just to press this button, right? Well, it would be if it was in the right place. In fact, I've just had a thought. We have 9 billion silicone, right? Which just means I don't have to move my mouse even more. If we had maybe another 500,000 silicone, I would have pressed that 2 more times to get to 17 seconds. Yes. Oh, our speed is definitely getting up there. 2,000 light years, right, from one click is not actually worth a lot now, by comparison. If you think about how fast we're going, right, we're going 1,380 light years per second. Now I can click a button and give us an extra, what, 3,000 light years for 2 button clicks, which is good, but that's 3 seconds worth of travel. And is it worth it for 3 seconds? Right, I'll show you in a second. Well, alright, in a few seconds. Right, look. That gives us 2,000 instantly, and this gives us 810 instantly, which is great, don't get me wrong. But that's, what, 2 1/3 seconds of travel at the speeds we're travelling at? Seems a bit redundant, if you ask me. And it was good to start with. 2,000 light years was like like tens of seconds. However, now it's diminished returns. It's just not worth it. And by the time we max out that thing in engineering, it won't be worth it. Oh, actually, while I'm here, go back to that. Oh, and let's do that. Wow, that went up a lot. I didn't expect it to go up so much. That might be a problem. I mean, it won't be a problem, but it might be a problem. I don't think it is, though. Not realistically. Especially if I can keep over the yellow square. We've nearly balanced our energy books, which is nice. Yeah. I'm guessing we're going to need 26,500 million. Oh, I was close. But we'll have another 127 soon, which is nice. And now we're getting a speed multiplier just from our prestigium on its own, right? It's not a lot of a speed multiplier, but it's a 0.3 every single time. So you take our speed, times it by 1.3, and that'll be our new speed. And then at some point, it'll be per second, which is crazy talk. Right, let's be honest. The more prestigium you have, the more you gather. The more you gather, the more you gain. The more you gain, the more you gather. It's an ever-increasing circle of doom. Or joy, depending on which way you look at it. We're slingshotting ourselves out of the universe. And we're going to giggle when we arrive. Like little school children who have been tickled too much until they cry. So that's a slight paraphrase of a song by a band called Bentley Rhythm Ace. And I can't remember if it's from Bentley's Gonna Sort You Out, which was their they only had 2 hit singles. Lovely people though, met them once, they were nice. But the song starts off with, have you ever been tickled? Tickled too much until you laughed, and then laughed too much until you cried. And then it went on to the song. Something along those lines. Yeah, not bad. 90s trip hop, very fun. Used to be quite popular to get your dance on to, if you're into that sort of thing. I quite liked dancing when I was younger. I'm old and broken now, so I don't do it so much. But when I do, I give it my all for like 3 minutes, and then I sit down and go, I need my painkillers and my walking stick back. So it's fine. Still could be worse. Like, don't get me wrong, I would have already taken painkillers before I started dancing, because otherwise I won't be able to breathe properly and I'll fall over and be in pain. And nobody needs that when they're trying to have a good time. They just don't. Because everybody starts going, you alright? I'm like, I'm fine. I'm definitely not fine. But I'm not going to tell them that, am I? Like, who does that? And you just go, yeah, I'm fine. Leave me alone. I need a drink. They'll be like, you don't look like you need a drink. I'm like, you don't look like you know what you're talking about. Where's your medical degree? And they go, what? You go, exactly. And then walk off. Well, hobble off. Well, skulk away, scurry like a spider who isn't being perverted, I suppose. I'm looking at that vent again. Yeah, well, you know, it is just one of those things. Why do koalas not have pouches, but kangaroos do? I love koalas. Koalas are super cute, but I like kangaroos, and they have a pouch. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe koalas are a marsupial instead of a bear, and it's just a lie. Koalas are the cutest, though. I'd love to have a koala if it didn't have chlamydia, admittedly. They're amazing. They're like the most lovely creatures ever. I met one when I was younger, and it cuddled me a lot, much to the zookeeper's annoyance. So when I was in Australia, like a long time ago, you used to be able to get cuddle with the koala, right? And this is before everybody knew that basically every single koala had chlamydia, right? Now, interestingly, I've been checked for chlamydia and various other things, and I do not have it, so I was fine. But we all lined up to get cuddles with the animal because it was fine back then. I don't know if it still is fine to cuddle the koala, but anyway, we queue up. My brother's in front of me, and the koala did not want to sit on my brother. Didn't like him. Didn't even like most of the people in front of us either. And as soon as the zookeeper went to grab the koala, it would essentially jump back into the handler's arms, right? And then I was a little bit reticent because koala has big claws. But the koala seemed very fluffy and very cute. So I was given some eucalyptus, like everybody else is given eucalyptus, and I was given the koala. So I started to cuddle the koala a little, and then I was like, oh, it's amazing, love it. And the koala was making itself at home, like really sort of leaning into the cuddling. I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't trying to be all sexy and stuff, it was just, it seemed to enjoy cuddling me. So much so that when the handler asked for it to pass the koala back, the koala wouldn't let go. Koala was like, nah, I got Chrissy now, I'm fine, you can go. Yeah, that was a good day. It was a good day when I was claimed by a koala as part of the tribe. If only I could eat eucalyptus. I mean, it's a good life, right? Get to hang out with bears, and not just any old bears, but the fluffiest, loveliest, friendliest bears. right? And not only do they want to hang out, they just want to chill. They want to eat their stuff and maybe give you a cuddle. I mean, it was wonderful. If I'm honest, it was absolutely lovely. Would recommend. Right, let's wait for the titanium to tick. And as soon as it ticks... Well, actually, I'm not. I'm going to get to 36 million iron, maybe. We need more iron, is what I'm seeing. We might need 40 million. That way we can get more ticks of titanium. And I like more ticks of titanium. Oh. So we are... Well... We're not far off 0.1% out of the observable universe, which is quite far. Let's have a look, right? Yes. Oh no, we're 1% out of the observable universe. I thought that we were further away than that. And maybe it's rounding up. And I thought that was 1,000th. No, well, maybe. Hang on. Wait. 465 million is... Yeah, what? No, that's 1%. Yeah, so it's rounding up. 100th of a percent should be 4.65 million, right? Yeah. So it's rounding up. Well, I mean, still, it's not bad, right? And we're back in the positives. That's probably why we're going so quickly. I'm not pressing the button again. I could press the button, right? In fact, I can press the button. I can get a lot of energy out of that. I was hoping for more. Because that'll drop us to 15, and that's not enough. Not for my tastes. Although we could run at an energy deficit and make it back, couldn't we? I just don't think it's worth it. How's this looking? Oh, still not really any different. I mean, that's the thing. Oh, 42 million. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can press that once. That works, right? Oh, we've got 13 now, is that as well? Should I get another 0.5%? I could get another 0.5%, or I could get a prestigium in reasonable order. I think we go for prestigium in reasonable order, right? I think that's the better plan. It makes more sense to go for prestigium in reasonable order. Because, you know, prestigium is better. Look at that. All nice and tasty. All that silicon in my belly. When we get up to another 3,000, when we get to 3,000 titanium, we're up to 14 prestigium now. It's going up quickly, which means our speed is going to go up quickly as well. And then I won't have to worry about harvesting aluminium for getting prestigium, which is good. It's not amazing, but it is good. Right. So we are 4 billion over what we need, which is pretty good. 2,000 light years a second though. It's coming up. Just watching our energy counter go up. I'm like, I need more. More. Not enough. it's like we're going to start needing way more titanium coming in. Which means we're going to need way more aluminium coming in. Which means we're going to need way more titanium. That's the problem. They are looping on themselves. Now, I'm disappointed with the amount of magnesium and calcium we've required. We've not really required anything else apart from silicon and aluminium. Like, the water's not been necessary, really. Not really. The hydrogen, again, it's not that important. Where is it? Actually, that's a good question. This one. No, it's not that one. Was it this one? No, this one. 126. So I do need to upgrade that again. There we go. Right, that's fine. And it's already filled up past what we need, which is good. We're going to need to upgrade that another time in a minute. Well, I say in a minute. In a while. I say in a while. Wow, that was a lot of aluminium. That used up... Oh, no. Used up loads. Boo, game. Boo. What are you doing? That means I have to spend this. That way. Boo, game. But yeah, look, we're at 5.2 now. 692 seconds. 692. So we're going to get, I think we might even get to 7 prestigium. 7 times bonus. I was bona fide. That's the wrong words entirely. So hang on, let's do some calculations. So we're at 32, right? 32 leaves us with 16, which is 10 billion short. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with it. But also, it doesn't take us long to get that back. That's the thing. However, where are we from the next one? 86.5. So we're not far away from the next one regardless anyway, which is nice. So, now we lost a lot of speed from that, I get you. But also, we're now at 33 times the speed of what we should be. And we'll work that off in no time at all. I should have waited. Granted, I should have waited. Because it slows our tachyon production down. My phone is telling me what time it is again. But it's fine. I've still got half an hour of episode to record, and therefore it's fine. And then I will do some more another day. I might do it tomorrow. I might do it the day after. You don't know. You can't prove it. There's probably metadata data in the recording that will tell you, I'm sure. But yes, it is what it is. I mean, at least were you able to go into when it was uploaded and that sort of stuff? It will tell you that stuff. I don't know that you can... Oh, maybe you could download it and then... Who knows? Not me. That's why I have a cybersecurity guy. He does all that calculation for me. If I want to know those sort of things, I'll be like, tell me as much as you can about this. And he goes, it will cost you. And I'm like, well, it depends how much it costs. And then he tells me a number, and half the time I'm like, really? I thought you know, and I were friends. And he's like, we are friends. I'm like, I am a little bit perturbed by this. And he's like, why? And I'm like, well, one day you'll give it to me for free. And he laughs every time. Well, we'll get 2,000 light years, why not? 3,000 light years, why not? Extra speed, why not? So yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm annoyed with the hydrogen upgrade. Can you tell? It's why I pressed the button. I wouldn't have pressed that button on the black hole thing. I've been ignoring it for most of the episode because the black hole thing doesn't matter. And then it suddenly did matter because it used up all my aluminium and I can't get another prestigium yet. But look at the amount of energy we're making. We'll be back there in relatively quick order. Because we're making a lot of energy. How much are we making? Nearly 10. That's pretty good. We're about to... There you go. We're now making 9, right? 9 full... Well, almost 9 full million per. Which is good. Although our silicon's going to be expensive soon. That's going to get to billions as well. Grr. I mean, that's pretty good. We're already up to that amount of titanium. That's amazing. I'm quite pleased with that. That's quite a result, if I'm honest. But we would have, by now, had I not upgraded our hydrogen, we would have, or our hydrogen capacity, we would have been at, or close to, Prestigium 15. Which means we would have also been close to Prestigium 16. Which means by the time we got 16, we would have been nearly at 17. But now we're only going to be close to 16. Disappointing. I'm not annoyed by it. I am. I'm very annoyed. Can you tell? I mean, of course you can. I keep going on about it. You keep going on about it. So does your wife. I don't have a wife. Lies. Wait. Sorry, I'm just blethering at myself now. We've got some good drum and bass going on. Hang on. I think this is a remix by... No, this is a DJ Rap remix. Hang on. Which one is this? I'm going to look it up and tell you. It doesn't tell me. It's just a classic jungle by DJ Rap. It's a classic jungle mix by DJ Rap. DJ Rap has a YouTube channel if you want to check him out. She's got some banging mixes. She's talented DJ. And if you like drum and bass, well worth looking up. She's an old school girl though, right? I remember her out in the town when she's a bit younger than me, but not by a lot, I guess. Well, I don't know, she might be quite a bit younger than me actually. But I remember her being on the docket in a few places that I went to, and she was good. And she's still good, so definitely check her out if you like drum and bass. And if you don't like drum and bass, then don't. And if you don't know what drum and bass is, check her out and have a listen. She does some good tunes. Her mixes are wicked, right? She did do a couple of her own pieces which are quite interesting as well. For the real bass heads out there, I mean, drum and bass is definitely for the bass heads, and really good with the subwoofer. Like, drum and bass, is it really drum and bass if you can't feel it? I mean, honestly, is it really music if you can't feel the vibrations going through you? I mean, it is, but it's not the same. Like those sub-vibrational tones, they change the way you feel. They're amazing. Honestly, I struggle with feelings personally. As a person, I'm pretty sure I have a thing called alexithymia. So I struggle with emotion, feeling it or recognizing it being felt. And that's just one of those things, neurodivergence and all that, as they say. And I found that I really connected and resonated with music. And then recently I was reading a white paper by, who was it? Was it Harvard Medical? It might not have been actually, it might have been Oxford. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was reading this paper about it, and they were talking about how different sound waves have different effects on physiology and emotional base, so that it will help you or hinder you in feeling things. And it was more to do with sonic weaponry than it was to do with music. And then I found a paper that was to do with emotional attachment to music and resonance that comes from the vibrations of the sub-audible frequencies within music. So yes, fascinating papers. And that was all because of, now where was it? It wasn't Hungary, was it Czechoslovakia? Serbia. Serbia had they promised they wouldn't use LRAD weaponry, which are essentially acoustic weapons designed for crowd control. They're not supposed to be fatal, right? And then they said, we're not going to use those on any protests, and then went ahead about 3 days later and did a massive pulse of an LRAD on an entire crowd. And it's funny because an LRAD system, the pulse button is, you would think, right, if you hear the word pulse, it means it gives you a quick flash and then leaves you alone, right? Much like if you get a food processor or a bullet or a blitzer and you press the pulse button, and it as soon as you let go of the button, it stops, right? But actually the pulse button on an LRAD system, it puts it on maximum setting and gives multiple pulses of the maximum setting, which, depending on your distance from it, can induce things like heart attack and stroke. Like, they are very dangerous things. Now, most people don't ever get close enough, but they can cause anxiety and depression for months afterwards. And Serbia was like, no, we don't use them. And then they went from we don't use them to we won't use them on you. And then from that they went to whoops. They're still denying it, but all the evidence is clear. Like, there's been enough people in the woodwork coming out who are, shall we say, military or military adjacent, who have all been like, I mean, I used to use those. Like, they use similar things on oil rigs, for example, right? So if you're what are they called? Houthi. If you're a Houthi and you've had enough of the local oil rig stealing all your oil and shipping it off to those, what are they called? Kafirs. Essentially, the non-believers who don't deserve the oil because they are from the West and they should all burn, or something along those lines. I don't know. Like, when those sort of people, when they want to come and they want to stop you from drilling on the oil platform and getting oil for whoever you work for, which is a surprisingly common practice, right? And they do it for super tankers and all sorts, right? But some of these places now have these, what are they called? The LRAD systems, and it's not just LRAD. So, for example, Israel has its own oil rigs. And those oil rigs also happen to have those acoustic weapon devices in. Can't tell you the name of it. I mean, I can, but I'm not allowed. Well, I probably am. You could probably look it up, but I'm not going to tell you the name of the equipment. Anyway, the point is what happens, you get within a certain range and they press the button and then you don't want to be in that range anymore. You're like, nah, don't want it. You can keep your oil. And it's a much nicer way than shooting bullets at them from a sniper rifle or firing rockets at them, or using other types of weaponry. Like, you can get light weapons. So all they do is use photons. Photons are fun. Everybody loves photons, right? Like, imagine a torch on a spaceship. Like, headlights on a spaceship as opposed to headlights on, say, a motorbike, right? Because motorbike headlights are rubbish. Car headlights are better, and truck headlights are even better, and train headlights are even better than that. Well, by that analogy, the ones on a spaceship would be even better, right? So the ones they have on, shall we say, oil rigs and whatnot, oh boy, they are strong. They'll give you you need more than sunglasses, let's put it that way. And they will send light that isn't necessary. Well, it's not. So sunlight, for example, is a polarized form of light. So you can get polarized sunglasses, or it's non-polarized. So you can get a polarized set of sunglasses, so it only lets in a certain amount of the sunlight. Well, you can get photonic weaponry. So I'm not talking about lasers. This is just like a fancy torch, right? Very fancy torch. But it has such high lumens that, and they have the light emitters arranged in such a manner so that it doesn't matter whether or not you're wearing sunglasses, because they can send it in different angles at the same brightness, so that it can overload your sunglasses, because it will just push it all through the polarization level. Right, it's unpleasant, or at least so I've heard. Don't ask me why or how. Let's just say I haven't been to an oil rig, and move on. You can't prove that I've been to an oil rig. Look at that, 5.5. 15. Look, 654. We only need one more. Well, we don't. We need two more to get over the 600 threshold. Under the 600 threshold. That's one every 10 minutes. That's amazing. I just would like this to be quicker. It's not quicker. But we're up to 185 billion now, because we're at 70 billion a second. Look at that. That's amazing. That's not 70 billion, is it? 70 million, you doofus. I am doofus. I am become doofus. Lord of memes. I mean, I'm not the lord of memes. I'm not the lady of memes. I'm not even the non-binary of memes. I am just Captain Doofus of the Doofus crew, apparently. I'm going to stop doing this one, because we don't use tab 1 in the hydrogen tab. What's the point? I mean, I probably keep pressing it, right, because I can't help myself. I'm kind of addicted to pressing the button. Oh, that's going up by a lot now. That's going up by 12. Looks like it's going up by 12 anyway. I think it's 12. Is that 12? That looks like 12. That is 12. Yeah, 12. Wait, is it 12? Hang on. Let's get the magnifying glass out so I can see more clearly. It's definitely not 12, it's 2. I was looking at the top one maybe, which is going up by 8, so it's not 12 either. And maybe it's because that was there and I was just getting confused. I was never confused. I mean, I was completely confused. I was clearly confused, you can tell. Well, we can get another prestigium if I do this for a bit more. So let's do this for a bit more. 2.345 light years per... Oh no, 2,340... Oh, it's the Fugees. Huh. Ready or not, in fact. I mean, it's easy to tell with this one because she sings it right at the beginning. Good old Lauren. She was good in the Fugees. The Fugees were good, full stop. I wonder what happened to them. Don't tell me, I don't care. It's a lie. When I say I wonder what happened to them, it's very much a, nostalgia. I don't need to know anymore. Because there's things I care about, right? Like if somebody was to tell me, you know that the new fusion reactor that they're building in France is the joint enterprise reactor, which is a massive test fusion reactor, is actually going live next week, I would probably stop recording and I'd be watching all the live streams. You know, the final bits of building, the turning it on, all of that nonsense. I mean, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just have it on in the background while I was chatting nonsense to you, and then I'd talk a lot about fusion. Like, I'm looking forward to that, I tell you. But, you know, whether or not Hillel Slovak enjoyed his vegetables, like, is Flea allergic to broccoli? I don't know. And I don't care. Right? You know. How many kids does insert random musician's name have? Like, I don't care. Like, I like Justin Timberlake's music. He's a handsome looking fella. I couldn't give a monkeys. I quite like Gwen Stefani's music. I don't care that she's anything outside of a musician. Like, I think it's kind of a shame that she doesn't make music with No Doubt anymore. Her and her brother used to make brilliant music. And the only reason I knew it was her brother is because I happened to hear her on a press junket talking about something to do with her latest tour. But, and I have a memory, unfortunately, I have one of these weird memories where I remember almost everything. Not everything, that would be ridiculous. My brain, I edit a lot of information out of my brain because otherwise I remember too much and it hurts my head. But yeah, like, for some reason I remember that it was her and her brother in No Doubt with some other people. And when they stopped producing music together, I thought it was a real shame because I really enjoyed her music with No Doubt. And then she came out as a solo artist, and I enjoyed her music as a solo artist as well. You know. And like you hear stories about Britney Spears, and you know what? Don't care. Like if I met her, I'm sure she'd be lovely. Outside of that, couldn't give a monkeys. You know. And you know, I've met famous people all over the place, and honestly, never recognise them. It's quite funny. I remember meeting Slipknot. I was drinking with them and didn't know it was Slipknot because they weren't wearing masks. And then my bassist said to me, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just drinking with these guys. Do you want a drink?" And he went quiet. I was like, "You still there?" He was like, but, and I'm like, "What?" And then one of the guys was like, "I think he knows who we are." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And my bassist was like, "But that's," and I was like, "Right, okay, this is going to be one of those embarrassing minutes." So I was just like, "You'll have to excuse us." And as I was walking off, he was like, "How did you get to meet Slipknot?" I was like, "They were at the bar, I was at the bar, I was buying drinks." And he was like, is that it? I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh. Because that's how it works, right? I'm not going to the bar to meet people, I'm going to the bar to get drinks. Admittedly, I was on my own, but that's not the point. I was thirsty, and I was at a festival. Admittedly, I was in the artists area, but that's because I was in a band, right? Anyway, like, but these are the things that happen, and I don't think about them because they're not relevant, right? They're just not. Why can't I press the button? What haven't I got? What am I missing? 100,000 hydrogen. Brrr. Well, I can get some more aluminium while I'm at it. We need 9 million. 9 million. It's a ridiculous number. Come on, hydrogen, hurry up. Give me more hydrogen, goddamn you. Dagnam you. I mean, I could just press this button, right? But I want to press it 5 times. I don't think I can press it 5 times and get away with it. I mean, I can. Obviously, I can. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we just do this, right? Because that's the way to do things in this game. Yeah. I mean, it's not. You can press it by ones, but I don't like those odd numbers. They do my face in. And we should be able to get back up to 35 million by the time we hit 100,000 hydrogen. I can't remember where we used all that hydrogen last time. I mean, obviously we used it enough because we're out of hydrogen. And that's disappointing. I think I had an email. I'm not looking at it, I don't care. I mean, I do care, but I mean, I'm recording, dagnammit, and my phone is right next to me. How dare it make noises at me? Oh, we're over the number now. Boink. 17. We made 17, but we could have had 18. That's right, we could have had 18. I can press that though, that's good. That's really good, because look, it's gone up more. We're getting 6.1. We're under 500. We're under 1 every 10 minutes. Only 10 seconds under 1 every 10 minutes, but we are. I was right. It was an email, and I was right to ignore it. I didn't ignore it, did I? Because I'm telling you that I didn't. That I'm looking at it. I would tell you what it was, but it's so not relevant. Unless you like shoes. Do you like shoes? I like shoes. Shoes are useful. So I like trainers. I like skate shoes particularly. They're not the only shoes I like, but I was an email from a company I buy skate shoes from. I do like skate shoes. Yes. And those particular skate shoes are fantastic. What even am I doing? What am I doing? Why? Why am I doing it? Well, we're at 0.02% out of the universe. Observable universe. Mind. Let's not be silly. I want to press the button. Can't press the button yet. Can't even press the button at the end of the episode. We won't have enough energy. I mean, we will, but we'll get such an energy penalty, it's not worth it. I mean, it's kind of worth it. So hang on. Just out of interest, if I take these out... Right, hang on. Where do we get up to? This is 1.9, and it's... We'll say 2.9, right? Will it actually... 2.9... No. Because I just want these filled. I like it filled like that. Well, that's gone up from 192. That's gone up by 10. I don't understand. Why has that gone up by 10? I mean, it doesn't actually matter. We don't need that. That's a lie. As far as I can tell, we don't need those. I would like to get another one of those to make that 2. Because, boink. Look, that's a lot faster. But it's not what we're doing. We're doing that at the moment. Oh, this is a good song. I'm going to tell you what this song is as well. Right. One day I'm going to get round to typing. Oh, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this. But if I could, I would. I just can't. So it's No Roots by Alice Merton. I like this song. Right, but what would be good is I suppose I'd have to get PRS or something, like, in order to be able to use people's music. And I don't know that that would work to bypass the copyright protection within YouTube. But I'd love to be able to play the music to you that I'm listening to, so that you could hear the music that I'm listening to and decide for yourself whether or not you like it. And I could act a little bit like a DJ, and talk all over it anyway, which means I wouldn't actually be like a DJ. But if it's a good song, I'd probably stay quiet for a bit so people can listen to it, or at least so I would make you listen to it. And on second thoughts, it's probably better that I just tell you the songs that I think are really good. I mean, they're all really good, but sometimes I vibe with the song slightly more than I would with others. Now, let me see, what is the requirements? 90,000. That does... Right, I'm going to get the magnifying glass back out so I can see it properly. Like, ironically, I have to move it in and out. Right? Change the focal length. Just to keep my eyes working. So another 1,000 of that stuff, give or take. We have a lot of this. We have a lot of this. It's nowhere near enough. Let's get some more. So we're making 10,000 iron per tick now. Because it's... Oh, it's more than... No, it's not. Oh, it's just over. That's good. We're not making that much aluminium from it. God damn you, aluminium. You and your goddamn games. Why do you refuse to play like everybody else? I don't like it. I don't want to. I think all of you smell funny. Look, aluminium, nobody asked for your opinion. You just did. No, I didn't. You can't prove anything. I'm not strange. Apparently I've been doing this for too many minutes. Alright, let's get some more speed. Because I can. Ha ha. I mean, it goes up quite quickly now. It goes up, like... It's not going up by itself, right? But I click on this, and it's going up quickly. But this says it's only... It's going up by 0.01 light years per second every couple of clicks. But it's not. It's definitely not. Because it's going up multiple light years per second. Because we're at 3,000 light years per second. I can see it. Because you can see the number, but underneath the number that's going up, there's another number going up, and that says 8,142,000, and it's now 8,100,000 something. Like, it's going up by 3,000 at a time. It's not going up by 3 at a time. Well, you know. I'd like to get to 63,240 light years per second. Considering 63,240 astronomical units per second is a light year. It's a form of beautiful synergy. I'm not going to be sitting here pressing this button until then. That would be mental. I think we'll stop soon. Like, not just the episode, but pressing this button. But maybe we can get to 4,000. Can we? Well, of course we can get to 4,000. I'm in control of when the episode stops, but... We did it. We didn't do it. Quick, do it again. No. Don't be like that. Why'd you got to do me this way? I feel dirty. Yay. Although it's not 4,000 on the dot anymore. Boo. Game. Game. You're so mean. But, you know, we've got some extra water. Our hydrogens fill up. We've nearly got enough titanium. We've definitely got enough iron. So really what we're waiting for is this to get bigger. Because that's, when we half it, it'll be 16 billion. I don't like that. Yeah, we need it to be at least 20 billion. Otherwise, what's the point? But what we'll do, not that one, not this, yeah, we'll spend all of our stuff in here, right, along there. Well, not all of it. Some of it. I'll spend all of this. I'll spend all of that. And then I'll press this button again. Tee-hee. But we've got a long way to go before this is worth doing that too. And honestly, we might be able to get another prestigium in the interim before that gets to 40, 45 billion. Right, the energy's going to take a while to get to, right? And in fact, it's going to take a long time. Should I keep going? 400 seconds? 400 seconds is nearly 10 minutes. No, it's not. It's like 7.5, but that's not the point. I'm going to stop by pressing this button, this button, this button, this button, and as soon as I feel it's run out to a point, we can go and have a look in here for a second. We are still almost nowhere in comparison to the distance required. But that number's going up now, which it wasn't. It wasn't going up at all. So we're nearly there, right? Because it looks like it's far away, and what I've learned with this game is just because it looks far away doesn't mean it is, because look, we're already up to 18 prestidigitum. Prestidigitum? Prestidigitation. No, but look, that's now dropped again. And it'll drop some more soon. Soon, I tell you, soon, my pretties. Yes. Soon. And that will be it, right? Is there a way of saving this? Oh, it's that button, right? That's the save button, I'm sure. Right, if I press this button, that's saved. Right, thank you very much for joining me. Take care. Bye.